What's up, folks? It's Dan here from BeAGameCharacter.com, where we turn games into gains, and today we're going to talk about how to punch harder. Now, for those who are not aware, I have a lot of martial arts experience in addition to my personal training knowledge, so I've been trying to work that into the channel a lot lately, and something that I'm frequently asked is, how do I punch harder? Okay, now, obviously, part of the developing power in striking is developing strength and speed, both of which will come from working out. Okay, so we're not going to talk about the exercise workout portion necessarily of how to punch harder. Instead, we're going to talk about today the mechanics and techniques of punching harder. So, to start off, one thing that you always want to consider is the fact that there are lots of different types of punches and there are lots of different reasons for using them. Okay? You don't always necessarily want to punch harder, okay? If you're looking to throw something fast, like a jab, you're looking to set something up, if you're looking for speed, you don't want power. You want to be able to move fast around a target and get your hand out there. When you want to punch harder is when you're looking to throw the knockout punches. You know, when you're looking to do what they call sitting down in boxing. You sit down into your stance and you throw something with power. So, the first thing that you need to know is that all power punches start from the feet up. Footwork is so important, and you know, if you look at boxers, and I'm going to be making a lot of boxing references in this video because even though I'm a karate guy, boxers are the ones who really perfected the art of punching. If you look at boxers, they spend a lot of time working on footwork, working on how to place their feet, and there are a lot of big differences between which way which foot is turned and stuff like that. So when you are throwing a punch, let's assume you are a right-handed fighter like I am, okay? You're going to have your weaker hand in front, your dominant hand in back. And what you want to do is you want to start by kind of screwing your feet into the floor. You want to think about almost like you're trying to squish a bug between the toe and your rear foot. And you're going to come up on off your heel a little bit because that's just, you know, first off, you should never be flat on your heels when you're fighting. But secondly, you're going to come off the heel because you want to turn your hip. And what we see here is we're starting from the bottom up. So first, I turn my foot. This is going to engage my quads and my hammies here. It's going to make me twist my hip, which is the next stage of throwing a powerful punch. If I don't have my hip involved, I'm only punching with my arm. You know, maybe a little bit of my, you know, core here, but if I don't turn my hip, I'm losing so much power. So the twisting motion of that toe to engage and turn the hip into your strike here is so important. That's where everything starts. So starting from the bottom up, we got our foot to our knees. We want to make sure that you want to be tense in your legs, but not locked in necessarily. Like you don't want to have like stiff legs. You want to have almost as though like you're doing a lunge, you know, but not quite as hard. And you want to have that tension in the legs. You want to be pushing off that back foot. You want to be driving forward like this. And you're going to feel that mostly in your butt, actually. You're going to be squeezing with that gluteus maximus, as it were, to twist that hip in. And notice what I'm doing. I'm dropping my shoulder down. All of this motion starts up here and comes up through the hip. And the turning in here is going to drop my shoulder down. This is where that idea of sitting down into your strike comes in. If you're throwing a punch from upright, you have a tendency to kind of like rain down from above and kind of lose some power that way. If you're standing straight up and your shoulders are back, you're going to drop your shoulders kind of backwards, and you're going to lose a lot of power. What you want to do is you want to turn that hip so that the shoulder drives forward like this, and notice the shoulder is leading the hand. So as I'm here, you know, I throw my jab, here's my setup. I want to throw my power punch. I got my setup jab here, and let's just assume I'm throwing your basic right cross, okay, aka a reverse punch in karate or whatever. Just a straight punch with the back hand here. All of this starts with the foot. So as I'm working here, I'm going to turn my foot as this hand's coming back. I'm going to drive forward with the shoulder. And only now do I start to think about the arm. I want to make sure that I'm flexed, I'm tense, I'm driving with the hip, I'm driving my butt. I want to make sure that I'm rotating with my trunk here. You know I incorporate a lot of rotational movements in my exercises, especially for striking type characters. Want to turn that hip, rotate with the trunk. The shoulder comes in. I drop the shoulder down and in. Notice the shoulder's kind of coming up and boom, screwing down like that. And only then do I start to think about my arm, and I don't think about throwing my hand. I think about driving out with my elbow. The hand will take care of itself, but if you only think about throwing your hand, you're going to come up short, okay? You want to think about striking through your target and driving hard from the elbow and coming back here. And as you do this, all these muscles are going to engage here. You're going to feel your pectoral first, all right? You're going to drive forward with your anterior deltoid. You're going to come the tricep back here. Everything's going to come in all at once to make contact here like this. So, looking at full speed, we're going 1, 2, 3, okay? That's the idea there. And when you're throwing a jab, it's real snappy. When you're throwing a power punch, like you're coming in with a cross, or where you're coming in with a hook, or you're coming in with an uppercut or something like that, you want to drive through the target. You don't want to just snap it and pull it back, which again is more of a karate thing, the snap, pull it back. Whereas boxers, they got a lot of boom, round motion, they'll come in, they'll throw that cross, and then step in to follow up. So, again, whole process here. You want to turn, you want to drive with the hip, you want to rotate with the trunk, you want to engage the pecs, and then by driving the shoulder and the elbow forward, there comes your power as you drive through your target. As far as striking goes, when you strike with your fist, you want to hit with either the top two knuckles or the center knuckle right here. If you're like more of a karate type person, you know, more traditional karate, like older styles, focus a lot on either these two knuckles or this one right here. Boxing in general is just kind of like this region right here, right around the knuckles. But karate, because it came from bare knuckle styles, focuses a lot more on conditioning of the knuckles. But you want to hit with that part. You don't want to hit, obviously, with this part of your hand. You don't want to hit with your pinky knuckle, because that's just going to cause you to slide off your target. You don't have much strength that way. And also, you want to make sure that your wrists are engaged too. In boxing, they wrap the wrists. I fight with my thumb on top, which is because I do Ishinu karate, and it's kind of a weird way to make a fist, but it engages your wrist muscles a little differently, reinforces your wrist a bit more. If you're going to throw a traditional punch like this, you just want to think about the angle that you're throwing at. You want to let yourself flex back like this or forward like this, because you're going to go end up spraining your hand. All right. The harder you punch, remember, the more force you're putting onto your own wrist. So you want to make sure that you have a good straight wrist. And by a straight wrist, I don't mean straight like this. You don't want your knuckles to fall in line with your forearm. You want to have a little bit of a bend there. You want to have a little bit of a flex, because that's more the body mechanics of your hands. So the way you figure it out is basically you would rest your elbow on a flat surface, and then let your hand kind of come down to like a relaxed fist, and wherever it falls, that's the natural curvature of your body skeleton. That's what you want to follow there, whether you have your thumb on top or if you have your thumb wrapped around. Punching with your hand completely straight like this is a good way to break your wrist. So you want to make sure you've got a slight flex, either if you're doing a boxer / taekwondo / traditional karate type thumb on the bottom thing, or if you're going to punch Ishinu style with your thumb on top. And that's really the terminus point of the, powerful punch. If you're throwing a power punch in a fight, you want to make sure that you can throw more than one. So while all these biomechanics are important, one of the most important things is to protect your hand. Play around with a heavy bag before you try and hit anybody like, in real life, because you'd be surprised at how much it can take out of your wrists and your hands to really throw a punch. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and would like to see more martial arts style videos, let me know down in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up. And please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content. Thank you for watching. As always, remember to live boldly, change the world, and continue to be awesome. Bye-bye.
Listen.